Okay, so yeah, okay, so little technical difficulty here, but we're working through it. We're gonna work through it. If you come in the room, holla at your boy. I want to make sure this is actually working. This is literally my first time using this program, and I kind of heard good things about it, and I want to see if it's really gonna be if it's gonna work out for us, which I think it will. There just may be a slight learning curve for us to kind of get the hang of the way it works. So tonight we're talking about motorcycle ministry. As you know, on Thursday nights we always talk about stuff pertaining to motorcycle ministry, but it's applicable across the board, right? Now, somebody told me years ago. As a matter of fact, it was told to me by my mother, who was told to my mother by my uncle. Okay, God rest his soul, Bishop Bobo, or we called him Uncle Bobo, but he was Bishop Roscoe Jones up there in the New York area. As a matter of fact, he was in where was he at? He was upstate New York, Buffalo, New York. And so anyway, we'll get to it, right? So he told my mama, right? He told my mother, don't ever be so heavenly bound till you're no earthly good. Okay, don't ever be so heavenly bound until you're no earthly good. So in other words, one should never, I won't say can't, but one should never be so focused on heaven that you forget about your brothers and sisters while you're right here on earth. Okay, God literally wants us to be his hands and his feet. He wants us to be his mouthpiece, okay? And so we've got to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me check something here real quick. Yeah, so never be so Holy Ghost filled and so righteous that you are no longer doing what he literally called you to do. All right, and we see that so often. All right, we see it more often than we should, where people become so focused on being saved and sanctified that they forget the reason why they're saved and sanctified. Now, first and foremost, we're saved and sanctified. Sanctified, literally set apart, set aside, set apart for the use of God. Okay. Now, with that said and done, He wants to use you. Yeah. He wants to use you, not to impress more church folk, but more importantly to infect, to effect. Come on, somebody. Those who are in dark places. Now, the Bible tells us that we are supposed to be what? Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts. Do you know what he told us we are supposed to do? Let me see something. Okay, all right. So he tells us that we are supposed to be a light in dark places. Okay, we're not supposed. We used to have. God forgive me. I really was supposed to go see someone who was really near and dear to my heart while I was up in Springfield, and I didn't have time to see everybody. So please forgive me. But my mind and my heart goes to a very very important lady. She was the super school, excuse me. She was the Sunday school superintendent, okay, known as Sister Pearlina Brown, okay, and there was she was the one who was in charge of what do you call it, the Sunday school songs, right? And so there was one song that we used to sing about your light. How did it go? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And then they had this one part where it said, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And so the song was encouraging us that number one, we have a light and we have it for a reason. We're supposed to let that light shine. And the reason why we have to let that light shine is because there are so many people who are living in darkness, okay? And our light does not shine if we are burning a wick of religion. Y'all know what a wick is, right? The wick is the thing that gives the fire its feed, its source, or yeah. So the wick sucks up the kerosene or whatever whatever fluid you're using to burn. Okay, the wick. It sucks it up, but watch this now. That wick over time can become crusty on the top because of when you put it out and when you relight it, and so it could get this buildup at the tip of the wick, which could cause it not to burn properly, not to burn as bright, so on and so forth. So you have to trim it every now and then. Okay, you have to trim it every now and then. Okay, and so we are not to have wicks of religion. Okay, because wicks of religion will just crust up at the top, and it will cause your flame not to fire, not to shine, not to burn the way it's supposed to burn. Okay, so with that said and done, let us move on. So we are not supposed to be so heavenly bound that we're no earthly good. Now we have to let our light shine, and that light is supposed to be put on a candle stand. It's supposed to be put in a place where it could give light to those who are in darkness. Okay, and I find out that so often we get all this power, and then we have our conventions and and conferences and so on and so forth. And we have all these church folk coming together. Now, let's not be fooled. The Bible says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together, okay? So we've got to understand and realize that gathering together as children of God, as saints of God, okay, as believers, there is a benefit to that. Okay, I'm not against that. I'm look here. Trust me. There's a benefit of us coming together. We're gonna touch on that here in a little bit. But there is a benefit of us coming together. All right. Now, however, when we come together, what we should do is we should encourage each other. We should strengthen each other, because as we often quote, iron what? Iron sharpeneth iron. Okay, and so we come together for those purposes. But if we're not careful, we will become professional saints, and we come together just to parade what God has done for us, but yet still we're not reaching those who need to hear what God has done for us. So tonight we want to talk about I joined a motorcycle ministry. Now what? Yeah. I joined an MM. Now what? Okay. And for those of you who do not know, MM, it stands for motorcycle ministry. Okay. There are some who are Christian motorcycle riders who do not have, or I should say, are not part of MM's motorcycle ministries. They are a part of Christian motorcycle clubs. Okay, we've talked about that before. Tonight's not that night, so for the sake of tonight's show, we're going to use both of those as one and the same. All right. We've already talked about the differences between a motorcycle ministry and a Christian motorcycle club. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about the two of those interchangeably, if you will. Okay. Now, I've joined an MM / Christian motorcycle club. Now what? Okay. We have to understand that there are some very important things that we must remember. Okay. Let me see something here. And just in case you wanted to call in, the telephone number is still the same, 980-222-4490. If you want to call in, if you had any questions or comments pertaining to tonight's show. Please forgive me for looking away, but again, this is a whole new setup, and I'm just trying to work my way through this thing here. So you've joined a motorcycle ministry, or perhaps you're thinking about joining a motorcycle ministry. These are some things that you want to keep in mind, keep in consideration. Okay. So once you join the motorcycle ministry, okay, you've got to do a few things. Number one, ride your motorcycle. Yeah. You've got to ride your motorcycle. Okay. Now there are different people who feel differently and view this thing, differently. But I'm speaking from the Retro Philosophy Show perspective. Okay, from your boy Retro. Right. If this is a motorcycle ministry, I want to see you on your motorcycle. Yeah, I want to see you on your motorcycle, and quite frankly, others should see you on your motorcycle, because the motorcycle is indeed a tool. All right, it's a tool. Okay, and for the Christian motorcyclist, it's a tool to help propagate the gospel of Jesus Christ. Okay, my wife and we took a really nice trip this past week. And we made several stops. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man. He's in the building, y'all. Mr. Manuel Saldivar. Saldivar? Help me out with that, brother. Okay, so let me see how I do this here. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, there we go. All right. And again, this is all new to me, fellows, so you're just going to have to bear with me as I work through all of this. Hopefully, it's coming across crystal clear in terms of the audio and video. But we got Manuel watching with us on tonight. Let's see here. Good brother indeed. Good brother indeed. As a matter of fact, Manny, you see the background. You already know what it is, right? Yeah, you already know what it is. So, as a matter of fact, let's see here. Is that's you right there, Manny? That, brothers and sisters, is my boy Manny right there. That's him right there. We were down in California the beginning of this year, and this year we took the last stretch down to the Santa Monica Pier, and I was escorted by United in Him Motorcycle Ministry. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Let's give it up for my friends down there on the California, on the West Coast. Yeah, here we go. And so we had a great time down there. And so where was I at, folks? So ride your motorcycle, okay? And again, United in Him, they do a great job representing, in my humble opinion, okay? And I'm not just talking about what I've seen on Facebook. I'm talking about what I've seen with my own eyes, okay? And so shout out to JJ, president of United in Him. Shout out to Pops, amen, the founder of United in Him Motorcycle Ministry. Y'all keep on doing the thing down there in the West Coast, all right? We'll be coming to see you guys soon, all right? We'll be coming to see you guys real soon. Okay, so you joined a motorcycle ministry. There we go. We was on our way to Malibu. Yep, we had went down to Santa Monica Pier, and then we took and left there, headed to Malibu. And what was the name of that place that we ate at? Gosh, I was just looking at the picture just the other day. But we went to the restaurant up there as you get into Malibu there. Great food, and I mean, it was packed out, but they served the food real quick. And again, folks, you got to get on your motorcycle and you got to ride. Ministry. As I was saying, my wife and I, we took a trip. We went back up north, and so we made a couple stops. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to be funny or I'm not trying to throw no shade. I'm too grown for that. I'm too grown for that. I don't throw shade, okay? But there are a lot of people, and to each his own, okay? Let me just put that disclaimer out there. To each his own. If that's what makes it work for you, then that works for you. But for me, I don't, and I've done this before. But when I get on my motorcycle and I have a destination, okay? Now, if I'm just going around the corner, I'm just going around the corner, right? But if I got some miles to knock out, I don't necessarily want to make a beeline right to my destination. I want to stop along the way. I want to fellowship along the way. Now, granted, you may be pressed for time. Neptunes, there you go, brother. Neptunes, yes, sir. Yes, indeed. It was Neptunes, and great food, and great fellowship as well. Let's see what that button does. Okay, all right, yeah. So I'm playing around with this, folks, and so far I do like it. I've got to do a few tweaks here and there, but it was Neptunes. Now, there are some nice places for us to come across and to find and to discover, but we'll never discover them at home, just going from bike night to bike night. You know what I mean? So anyway, my wife and I, we stopped in Salem, North Carolina. Okay, excuse me, Salem, Virginia, and we went into a restaurant. You know what? I should have had. I wasn't thinking I was going to share this story, but anyway, because I had some clips that I could have shared. But nevertheless, now we pull up in the parking lot of the restaurant. I'm pulling the trailer behind my motorcycle, and so people are kind of looking at it, and so we go inside and we're ordering our food. And a lady comes up and I believe she either tapped me on my shoulder or she got my attention, and I turned to her and she says to me and my wife, Spec, she says, "Thank you guys for what you do for the kingdom. Keep doing it." Now, first time ever seeing her, and the first time she ever seeing us. But the point is, we've got to get out, we've got to ride, and when we get out and ride, we've got to represent, okay? I'm going to share another story because we had, I believe it was Meatball. If you're watching tonight, man, shout out. Nope, I'm sorry, not Meatball. It was Kingpin. It was Kingpin. Shout out to Kingpin. But anyway, they're a motorcycle ministry, and they were riding and they got cut off. Okay, and how many of you know that this stuff happens while you're out there on the road? Yeah. People will bad drive you. They will cut you off and all that stuff. They will come over into your lane, and you've got to remember who you represent. You've got to remember who you are, okay? And so they were a little perturbed because this guy just literally almost ran them off the road, right? So they followed the guy to the next stop, and they pull up, and the guy is just all broken up in tears and everything. Now, they were a little upset because he cut them off like that, but it turned into a ministry opportunity, okay? And so when we get out here on this road and we ride, I promise you, ministry opportunity will open up, okay? You don't have to look for it. It will present itself. If we let our light shine, okay, ministry opportunity will present itself, okay? So I joined a motorcycle ministry. Now what? Ride your motorcycle, okay? Ride your motorcycle, right? Now, not only do you want to ride your motorcycle, but you want to ride with integrity. And sometimes I'll get on the throttle and I'll twist it. Don't call me a hellion because I twist my throttle. Sometimes I ride Ruby Red and I ride it hard. I'm doing my thing. But when I'm riding, I am conscious of who I am. Another thing happened while we were traveling. So we're out there, we getting it, and so. Matter of fact, it was the same restaurant when the lady came up to us and thanked us for serving the kingdom and doing what we do and everything. Side note, people are always watching, okay? And so now we get our food. We were in line when we were talking to this lady. So now we got our food. We're sitting down and we're eating, my wife and I, and we're not trying to spend a whole lot of time because we gotta get to our destination, okay? But when we travel, we try to leave in such a way where we have time to deviate to an extent, okay? So anyway, we're sitting there, we're eating, and a family comes in. First, all I saw was the wife, and then I saw the husband, and later on, a couple of the kids came in, and so husband nods, I nod, we begin to speak, small talk, and I seen him pass by us, and he looked out the window. Then when he came back, that's when he kind of nodded, and then the conversation ensued. And so he says, I thought that was your bike. I seen you guys on the highway, and so I didn't recall seeing them on the highway, but apparently they saw us. They noticed us and remembered us. And so my point is, it's so important to ride like you are a member of the kingdom. Okay, because I suppose I had been, in and out of traffic, and sometimes I am in and out of traffic. However, when I'm in and out of traffic, I'm doing it as safely as possible, and I'm doing it in such a way where it's not offensive to the car that I'm getting in front of. Okay. And so the brother, he's there, and he's, we just had some conversation and everything. But suppose I had been doing something, wrong or something dirty, and now here I am just trying to get me a drink and something to eat, and now this dude pulls up, and now what was a kind conversation could have went a different kind of way. I say that because of this point that I'm getting ready to make now. We cannot join motorcycle ministries, and we should not be a part of Christian MCs so that we can run around here acting like we Billy Bad what. I'll be honest with you, and because it is what it is. Some people get a patch on their back and they act like that patch is a cape. They act like that patch has made them a superhero. You have some people who get a patch and now they feel like they're somebody. You know what I mean? You are somebody. You're a child of the Most High God, and that is exactly what you should act like. Okay, we should act like that at all times. That's my opinion, and this is the Retro Philosophy Show.
Amen, Pastor.
Amen. I joined an MM. Now what? So you're part of a motorcycle ministry, so you ought to expect ministry opportunities to present itself. Okay, you should have some prayer time. You should have, yo, what's going on, my man? Big Sale is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for the man himself. I just call him, Big Sale, my man 50 grand, you know what I mean? Mr. FHO, the HNIC. I see you, big dog. I see you doing your thing. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and check out Mr. FHO Towing. Check out his webpage. He's on all social media platforms. And, Big Cell, I'm going to give it up for you, brother, and I'm going to tell the God's honest truth. Your boy Retro is doing what he's doing because of what you did. The cat's out. The secret's out. The secret's out. I ain't ashamed to tell the doggone truth, man. I watched Big Cell. I remember he was at his kitchen table with a cell phone doing his shows and everything, but the brother had some content, and I began following him, and he inspired me, and so we started doing it ourselves. Of course, I can't be Big Cell. Big Cell got it on lockdown, but he offers a lot of information that a lot of people probably wouldn't be honest enough. Say, man, let's hear the word like Lord knows we need. Brother, we need it, man. I need it. We all need it, and sometimes we need to be reminded that we have a purpose. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we'll get sidetracked and we begin to get high on our own supply, and that ain't a good look right there when you get high on your own supply. The Bible says, be sober, be vigilant. Why? Because the devil, your adversary, walketh about as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. All right. And if we walk around here drunk on our own hype, the devil he's just gonna have his way. Be a doer, not just a hearer. Spread the gospel. You didn't join to be a riding buddy. You joined to work for the kingdom. That part right there. You joined to work for the kingdom. You know what I mean? And I do get it. There are some of us. Let's see here. Hey, look at here, brother. We both gonna do it. Cause I see you. I be like, look at my man up there. He preaching, boy. He preaching, But keep on doing the doggone thing. Keep on doing the doggone thing. And let me tell you this, Big Cell, and everybody that's listening on tonight. Okay, every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Okay, let me break that down in Ebonics for you. Okay, just because I'm saved, I can't forget I had a past. My cousin's in town, and we was chopping it up and everything, and there's some stuff I used to do. Come on, somebody, that I don't do no more. But just because I don't do it anymore doesn't mean I look down my nose at somebody who's still doing it. Quite the contrary, because he brought me out, I'm supposed to be a light for somebody else to let them know, look here, bro, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. That's why we can't be running around here with all this hateration in our hearts and trying to block folk and all this and that craziness. Let's see here. We got my man in the building. My man, I tell you, California is in the building. The West Coast is in the house on tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pastor Nate Sessions. Yes, sir. We had a chance to get together and kick it while I was down there. And Nate, man, I tell you, man, your ears probably been burning because I need to have a conversation with you, man. I got to have a conversation with you. So I'll be hollering at you real soon. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, get up for Nate Sessions. He's in the building. Let's see here. Let's see. So like I was saying, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. We way past that. The devil knows. Ride as a Harley. Yeah. We passed that, man. We passed that. We're going to get out here. We're going to ride our Harleys and make it do what it do. And Nate, and again, Nate says kingdom building is the key, okay? And what we've got to understand is that kingdom building means that today I might be lifting the load for Big Cell. Tomorrow I might be lifting the load for Sessions. Come on, somebody. I might be lifting the load for United in Him. I might be lifting load. It's in other words, what I'm trying to say is it ain't about me. And I know that ain't good English, but it ain't about me. It's about the kingdom. It's about the kingdom. And see, sometimes we get to a point and place in life where we are a big fish in a small pond. And me just being me, that was never my flow. That was never my flex. That was never my get down. You know what I mean? I don't appreciate being a big fish in a small pond. What I'm saying is sometimes we got to get out of our environment. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, God has way more in store for us than what He gave us initially. Case in point, let's go to the Word. Right? The Bible says that God had a conversation with a man by the name of Abram, and He says, "Abram, listen to me. I want you to leave from your country and from your kindred to a place that I will show you." Now, Abram, he was somebody. His family was somebody, right? But God spoke to him the same way He speaks to some of us on a daily basis. But we stuck on stupid. Did I say that? I'm sorry. Let me see here. Let me see what my peeps are saying tonight. Gangsters don't stop carrying weapons. We just changed the weapons we now use. That part right there. And I carry weapons, quite literally. I ain't lying to you. I carry the weapon, the word of the Lord, and I also carry my Taurus. That's my little compact one, and then my Smith and Wesson. She a little bit bigger. But I carry them things. I do. Hey, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. But real talk, man. You're right. We don't change weapons. I'm getting ready to talk about Abram, but since you're talking about these weapons and everything, the man by the name of Saul, right? Y'all know Saul of Tarshish. He had a name change after he had an encounter with God, and his name went from Saul of Tarshish to the Apostle Paul, right? But my point to make with Paul is, Paul was one of the most effective apostles that we read about in the Bible today. He was one of the most effective, right? But one of the reasons was because of what happened to him prior to coming into the church. And so, as I started out with the conversation, don't ever be so heavenly bound that you're no earthly good. Don't get it twisted and think that what you learn from the hood, you can't use. Nah, I use my hood knowledge every single day. I use it every single day. Yeah, because a lot of weapons that I acquired back in the day, I still utilize them to this day. It's only I'm using them for God now. Come on, man. Where they do that at? Where you get saved and you now living for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, but all of a sudden you get I just don't get it. You had so much wisdom when you was out there in the streets. You were so smooth with it, and you could, but now that you living for the Lord, you just lost all your sense. I just don't think it works like that. I just don't think it works like that, folks. Okay, so Nate said, me too. I'm saying, okay, so every saint has a past and every sinner has a future, okay? And sometimes Christian folk think that because I'm an apostle now, because I'm a bishop now, I'm better than you because you still selling drugs and drinking alcohol and smoking reefers. You know what I mean? Nah, bro. You used to smoke that crack and that heroin. You know what I mean? It's just the grace of God came by and cleaned your little near behind up, and you better not forget what He done for you. And then you looking at Pookie because Pookie's still out there saying, "Let me get 2 for 30." But Pookie got a future. God's hand is still on the life of Pookie. And I promise you, God gonna clean that little man up. And if we would do our job and witness the way we supposed to witness, it could happen a little bit quicker. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? And so I'm just that dude that I'm not gonna look down on nobody. You know what I mean? Because once upon a time, it was me. It was me. Okay, and so. You join an MM. Now what? This is not an opportunity for you because I'll be real with you. Since I joined the motorcycle ministry side of things, and I've never been a part of a motorcycle club. I wasn't, and I believe God knew why He never had me get involved. Because I've been riding motorcycles since I was 15. Probably dirt bike since I was like 12, and I bought an EX500 when I was in high school. A little pearl white one with striped down the side, a little loud header on that thing, and wifey would get on the back, and we burn out leaving Commerce High School. Couldn't tell us nothing, and been riding ever since. You know what I mean? And it was God knew what He was doing. He knew what He was doing, because had I joined a motorcycle club back then, it just wouldn't have been a good look for your boy, because I know how I am. I sell out to stuff, and when I say I sell out to stuff, when I join stuff, I give my everything to it. You know what I mean? And so so anyway, so I joined the motorcycle ministry a few years back, right? And I'm not gonna get into a whole lot of detail, but I joined a particular motorcycle ministry some years ago, and And it was since once I joined it, I started meeting people from different areas, more people from the motorcycle set and different things like that. I didn't use that as a green light to lose my mind. You understand what I'm saying? Because it takes a whole lot to impress your boy. I'm impressed with what you're doing, but I'm not impressed I preached a message the other day. I'm willing, but I ain't desperate. Y'all ain't hear me on that one. I'm willing, but I ain't desperate. You know what I mean? And so anyway, you joined a motorcycle ministry. This is not an opportunity for you to get popular and forget where you come from, or forget what your purpose is, or forget what your mission is. All right, your mission is to let your light shine. Okay, and if truth be told, there are people, in my humble opinion, who are living a particular lifestyle, but yet and still they know there's something more they should be doing, especially as it relates to working in the kingdom for the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, and if we as members of motorcycle ministries and Christian motorcycle clubs are out there beating them to the bar and beating them to the cigar spot and beating them to the to the cabaret and everything, like, what kind of example is that setting? I mean, you out here saying you represent the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and you're quoting all these scriptures, but yet and still you doing everything they doing. Now, you best believe your boy gonna pull up. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up on a lot of stuff, but it's gonna be the day party. Yeah, it's gonna be the meet and greet. You know what I mean? And the rest of the stuff, I'm gonna slide to the left. Slide. You know why? Because that ain't that's not my arena. I mean, I'm saying, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull up because it's all about fellowship. I'm gonna get down there to the ATL. I'm gonna holler at Big Cell. Yo, what's up, Big Cell? What's good, fam? What's good? But there are some things that it's just not for me to partake in. When they start backing it up and and dropping it like it's hot, and you check out some of the flyers, you already know it's going down, right? Now, once upon a time, okay, we're gonna stop. But I'm just saying, real talk, we got to do better. I'm just saying we got to do better. Let me move on. Let me move on to some more topics that I want to kind of touch up on tonight. Again, I want to thank you for pressing play, being a part of the Retro Philosophy Show. As you can see tonight, we are using a different. Let's see here. There we go. We're using a different platform, if you will. We got it going on up there in the top right there. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Ecamm Live. I'm just trying out, doing a test ride. If I like it, and I think I do like it, then we're gonna go ahead and make it do what it do and get access to all the little features, so we can kind of up our little game here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be like these other folk out here. You know what I mean? Okay, so join the motorcycle ministry. Now what? Okay. You've got to realize that not only are there people that are watching you, but there are people that need you to be consistent. Yeah, they need you to be consistent. Okay. I was talking to someone the other day, and some of you guys may have recalled this message in the Bible with a conversation that took place between a man by the name of Nicodemus. Yeah, Nicodemus. Cell, that's what I'm using. That's what I was using. I was using StreamYard as well. But the problem with it, the problem is I need something to use for church as well, and I need to be able to add a little bit more stuff to the to the backdrop. Like right now, I'm having a hard time with my internet provider because they suck. And so, but I'm supposed to be able to have this background actually playing video and everything, and I do like that. I don't think I can do that with StreamYard. And if you can do that with StreamYard, because I like your setup, and I didn't think you were using StreamYard because you got it going on, but maybe I'll holler at you and we can kind of hash out a few things. Maybe you can point me in the right direction. Let's see here. Yo, what up? We got somebody here. I'm sorry I can't address you properly, but all it says here on my end is Facebook user. So not sure where you're watching from. If I tried to send this out to my YouTube channel as well, And so tonight is a test run, and it is what it is. You guys give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Do I need to just go back with what I was working with, or what do you think? You think this can work too? Um, but anyway, we have to be Bird. Which Bird? Is it? Oh, Eddie Bird, Eddie Bird. Okay. Eddie Bird, that's you, man. Yeah, there we go. My man Eddie Bird is in the building. What's going on, brother? Hope all is well with you and yours, folks. This is my man Eddie Bird. Make sure y'all go and check him out on Facebook. He's all over social media as well: TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Where else is he at? He's Instagram, IG, all that stuff, man. I mean, I'm stuck on Facebook, man. I don't know how to work all that other stuff, man. You know what I mean? But hit up my man Eddie Bird. He is the man with the plan. He's got all of the motorcycle accessories. Okay, I'm not talking about that stuff you get from Harley. That what do you call it? That boom audio and you know, nah. Your audio will go boom. This is us pulling up to Malibu. No, this is us pulling up to Santa Monica Pier, right across from the pier right there. We pulled up right there, gassed up, and just kind of regrouped. And then from there, we headed up to Malibu. There we go right there. It's on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook.com/Leads and Bags. Okay, he will make your system really go boom. Okay, and so he's got all the accessories. If you want the wrap fender, if you want the 26, I mean, see my man Eddie Bird, real talk. All right, and he's gonna get you nice. All that stuff. The lights. What is it? I'm going to get those that go on your lower fairing. That's what I'm going to have to get from a man. And I don't know who that ugly guy is right there, but don't pay him no attention. Just disregard him. He's I don't know what he's talking about with that curly mustache. People in this world today, I'll tell you. But make sure you go see my man Eddie Bird, man. He'll get you right. And not only will he get you right with the accessories, but my man has the whole bike. I mean, he's selling motorcycles and everything. So, real talk, go see my man. We had him on the show. Eddie, we're going to have to get you on the show again real soon. But we had him on earlier in the show, man, before Leads and Bags took off to what it's doing now. And I ain't taking no credit. I mean, this man is putting in the hard work. So, when you put in hard work, you get good results, all right? And so he's doing the hard work, and he's now, beginning to see the results of hard work. All right, so make sure you guys go hit him up. And again, it's Facebook.com/Leads and Bags. All right, if you need a motorcycle, he can get you the motorcycle and then deck it out and everything. All right, and again, he's a brother and he's doing his thing. So we've got to learn to support one another. Okay, let's get back to this man by the name of Nicodemus, because he has a conversation with Jesus, and he says to him, he heard about the preaching and the teaching that Jesus was doing. Okay, I don't want it to be said about me. I heard the preaching and the teaching you doing on Facebook, but now that I met you, it don't match. Now that I met you, man, I was just telling somebody today, man, what you see is what you get, man. You come slide through over at Upper Praise Ministries, and the same retro is what you're gonna get. You might even see me in my biker gear, because sometimes I just ride to work. I'll just ride to church. My biker clothes is my church clothes, and my church clothes is my biker clothes. You know what I mean? And then some days, you walk up in there, you might like, ooh, that ain't retro, is it? Yeah, he GQ'd out. Yeah, I bow tie and the whole thing. Don't get it twisted now. We versatile. Oh, man, God is good all the time, for real, though, and all the time he's good. But Nicodemus had a conversation with Jesus Christ, right? And the point that I'm making is a couple, but number one, you've got to understand that Jesus did it in such a way that Nicodemus went to find him. And I think we've got to be careful, because if we're not careful, we will get out of position trying to get people to hear us, when in all actuality, all you got to do is just remain faithful, remain consistent, remain true to what God has called you to do. And the Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs, I believe it is, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. In other words, your gift will open doors for you. But let me tell you something else. Now, your gift can, for real, make room for you. And your gift can cause doors to open. But your nasty attitude and your lack of integrity will cause that door to close quicker than it opens. So don't get it twisted and think just because you gifted that everything gonna be given to you. Nah, bro, it don't work like that. You got to have some integrity. Yes, yeah, yeah. You know, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Please don't forget that, y'all. Somebody put that in the comment section. I need a virtual deacon to help the preacher out on today. I don't have all the other stuff that I. Oh, wait a minute. I think I do. Let's see here.
Amen,
Okay, I
Pastor.
got an amen. I don't need it now. I got it. I'm good. I'm good.
Amen,
Okay, so
Pastor.
I joined a motorcycle ministry. Now what? Now what? Now what do I do? Now what do I do? Um, you've got to make sure, and I've said this before when we've talked about this topic here, as it relates to a motorcycle ministry and everything. It is my humble opinion that if you are a part of a motorcycle ministry, then you need to begin to. Well, I was going to save that one. So, well, it is what you got to ask some questions. You got to ask some questions. I'm sorry. A lot of times people don't like it when you ask questions, but I found out the reason why they don't like it when you ask questions is because they don't have answers to those questions. I'm the kind of dude, if I don't have the answer, I'm going to let you know that's a good question, man. And I don't have the answer. But let's look into that. And I'll get back to you. Ain't no shame in my game, bro. I don't know everything. I know a few things. And thank God for men of wisdom. See, some of us, we too. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. Reverend James Sowell Jr. told me years ago, as I was a young whippersnipper. Yeah, I was young and dumb and thought I knew everything and this, that, and the other. And he told me one day, he said, young man, forget what you think you know and learn what you don't. Dude. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, just slapped me with all that wisdom just like that, And but it changed my life, folks. It changed my life. And so a lot of times God will strategically and gracefully and intentionally, purposefully send people into our lives for the sake of enlightening us. Where my man at Enlightened Ministries, you know what I'm saying? Nate Sessions. God will send folk into your life to enlighten us. And we so silly that instead of being enlightened, we'll be intimidated. And come on now. Instead of being enlightened, we'll be offended. I thank God that he broke me out of stuff like that, man. Because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. As a matter of fact, I rode the short bus. I got the helmet with the stickers on it to prove it. I didn't really ride the short bus, but but real talk though, man. Yeah. If you're the smartest one in your circle, then you don't have a circle. You have a box. Yeah. You got to have some people that are smarter than you in your circle. I'm just saying, you got to, So anyway, he told me, forget what you think you know and learn what you don't. Listen here. I'm getting distracted by this video. The thing, without a doubt, that I loved the most about my California experience was splitting them daggone lanes. You hear what I'm telling you, man? Listen here, man. Look at here, man. I couldn't wait to get there, and right here we were riding. I think it was before that, but there was a time right here we were riding, and as you can see, the traffic is beginning to back up, right? And I think JJ was up front, and I saw him do this. I said, oh, yes, sir. I know what that one means. I wasn't at the last meeting, but I know what that signal right there means. Yes, sir. And there we go right there, single file, and we just cutting through them lanes. You know what I mean? And, man, I tell you, it was a great trip, period. You know what I mean? And so back to what I first said about ride your motorcycle. Get out there and ride your motorcycle, man. I had an opportunity to sit down and interview the one and only, the Hoka Hay Challenge winner, Mr. K Solo himself. But I interviewed him down at the down in Jacksonville for the Iron Elite event. He was the Titan Award recipient. And so we sat down and I got a quick interview. You can go hit the YouTube channel if you want to catch that interview. But during the interview, he said something. I was asking him about, about riding and different things like that. And he says, get out and ride. He said, hit some of the back roads. And when he said it, it lit a fire. It ignited something. You know what I mean? And hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, man? Let's give it up for my man, Mr. Chisholm. I like to call him Mr. Detroit. Yeah, Mr. Detroit is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man. Yes, indeed. And so when he said that, it just did something, man. I'm trying to multitask here, yo. It just did something, man. And so he went on to say, he says, you might not be able to do the four corners, but do the four corners of your state. So you already know what it is, man. Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. We don't took that and ran with it. So we got a four corners run planned. If you're interested, if you're in the North Carolina, South Carolina area, hit us up if you want to ride it with us. We're gonna leave the Charlotte area. We're gonna head to Murphy, North Carolina. We're gonna leave Murphy, North Carolina. We're gonna head up to Sparta, North Carolina. We're gonna leave Sparta, North Carolina, and head on over to Kill Devil Hills and out there on the Outer Banks. Okay. And that's where it's going to get real nice, all right? Because and so we're going to get out there. There's a Harley Davidson up there in that area. We'll probably hit it up, and then we're going to come down the coast, and there will be a ferry ride that we'll get on. I've never rode a ferry, so I'm definitely going to make that. Yeah. So we're going to do that, and then we'll come on down to Wilmington, holler at my uncle, Big Dog. Yeah, aka Uncle Moses. You know what I mean? And then make our way on back to the Charlotte area. So again, we're just gonna, like I'm saying, get out and ride your motorcycle. You'll meet a whole bunch of different people. And let me pause for the cause. Let's see here. He says, please keep me posted. I've been itching to point. Look at here, brother. I'll definitely keep you posted, man. I will definitely keep you posted, man. And so there are some people that like to how do I want to say this? I appreciate the love, guys, the thumbs up and the hearts and everything. I really do appreciate that, man. God bless you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. But there are some people who have the ability to inspire, but instead of using that to inspire, they do other things. I'm just a drop in the bucket compared to what some other people are doing. Your boy Big Cell, your boy K Solo, and Kodak, the Kodak GP, the ground pounder, and Doc J, and the list goes on and on and on. There's so many people, Big Country out there in Phoenix, and just doing the thing, man. These guys get on their motorcycle and they ride. And I see these brothers doing what they do, man, and it inspires me. You know what I'm saying? So I say, yo, that's what's up, man. And I love it when they post the different pictures, especially when it's places that I haven't gone to or nothing like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to hit that up, And so now my thing has become the murals. So whenever I go somewhere, man, I try to make sure I find me a mural and make it do what it do. You know what I mean? And so you gotta, you just do you make it your own. You know what I'm saying? That's what inspiration is all about. Inspiration is not about mimicking. All right. Now, when someone is inspired by somebody, sometimes you can tell where they got their inspiration from because they have similar qualities or whatever styles, if you will, or something like that. And that's cool. But man, look at here, man. Take it and make it yours. Take it and run with it, But anyway, I was saying all that to say this. There are a lot of people in motorcycle ministries that don't ride like, some people do on the MC side. And there are some people on the MC side that don't ride too. So, I mean, I guess it's just people, period. You know what I mean? Let me get to the point and make it simple. All right. So I don't believe that just because I got a few miles under my belt that you went where, because all they did was 50 miles for the weekend. And that, man, them ain't no miles. Look here. That's miles for them because last month, all they was doing was 20 miles. So I'm saying, we've got to learn to build each other up and not tear each other down. So what? You got 100,000 miles on your bike in 1 year. You know, and this is no pun intended to those who are doing this, because the people that I for reference, these are people that have offered me insight, wisdom, encouragement, you know, and stuff like that. So they're not out there doing it and then trying to make people look small because they're not doing it. These people, man, I salute these people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we've got to do, folks. We gotta encourage people, man. You know, so what? You smashing more miles than they are, because you smashing all them miles. You ought to be able to give them something to inspire them, because a lot of people are like, man, I don't know how you can do it. I said, well, can you ride 2 hours? Yeah, I can do 2 hours. Well, if you can do 2 hours, you can go to California. We went to California. We did it gas stop by gas stop, and most people can ride a tank of gas out. So if you can ride a tank of gas out, then you can go wherever you want to go, because you ain't going no further than tank to tank. I'm just saying, real talk. Now, you know, I remember when I did my first what do you call it, Iron Butt. I left North Carolina, and let me tell you this. Let me just be transparent and straight up with you. I'm gonna get out of here in a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be transparent. I've been riding motorcycles since I was 15. Actually, before that, dirt bikes and all that stuff. But you know, official motorcycles since I was 15, and so, but I wasn't getting state lines. I mean, I was living up north at the time, and you know, and so I mean, I was around town. I was an around town rider. You know, I messed around and moved down here to the south, and you know, the season is longer in terms of riding, and so, and again, I was on crotch rockets, right? So my cousin bought a Boulevard, and I don't know, it was just something about that bike. It was nice, you know. I was like, dude, I could rock that, you know. It was before then I wasn't interested in, you know, anything but crotch rockets. You know, I had my little Ninja and everything, you know, and so I'm doing my thing, right? And so he got that, and he let me ride it, dude. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this, right? So at the time I had a Ninja 600. It was chromed out, pretty, you know, pearl paint, you know, blue and everything, and it sounded good, looked good, and I rode the heck out of that little thing, you know. And so anyway, long story short, I'm at the barbershop one day, and it was a slow day, so I was just sitting there at the desk, and I looked out, bike still parked up there in the parking spot. Now normally I park on the sidewalk right in front of the shop, right? But this particular day, I said, I just parked in the parking space right in front of the shop, right? So, I look out there to the bike. She's still shining, looking pretty, and I go back to, I don't know, I was on the computer, whatever I was doing. And then I heard this god-awful noise and this screeching and just crackling and I looked up and I didn't see my bike. For some reason, instead of my bike being where it was parked, a Toyota RAV4 was there. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's where, oh man. I get out there, the lady was scared. I mean, she just thought for sure this dude was getting ready to come and just rip her a new one, and look, I'm fully insured, baby girl. I don't know about you, but it's gonna do what it's gonna do. I wasn't mad at all. All I said was cha-chink. It was time to upgrade anyway. And so they totaled the bike, and I kept the bike. They totaled it, and I bought it back. And then I had somebody who wanted to buy it as it was, so I sold it, and we got me a little chopper. It wasn't a chopper. I guess it was more of a bobber. But it was ugly as all get out. But for some reason, it had this front end that was just all chromed out, and it was so fly to me. And so I bought that, and that's what started me, moving me away from the crotch rockets. Now that little bobber, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't no state line crosser either. It was really just a glorified bar hopper. You know what I mean? And so after that, I think I got me a little Shadow. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is nobody wakes up and is a legend overnight. It takes time, step by step. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you can go from tank to tank, trust me, you can go cross country if you want to. You just got to be ready. You plan it out in such a way where you know what your limits are, and you ride your limits. If you can do a $500 mile day, then just plan your stops accordingly. But I promise you, once you set out to do it, you'll do it. There was a question that was asked to an African, and the question was, "How do you eat an elephant?" And you know what his answer was? One bite at a time. Yeah, yeah. The same way you eat a Big Mac, one bite at a time. I know the elephant is way bigger than a Big Mac, but it's going to be eaten the same way. One bite at a time. So for somebody who's watching on tonight, I want to encourage you. Number one, be true to who you are. Let's see here. Be true to who you are, okay? Number two, don't be ashamed of who you are. Because this is what I often say. The man I am today, and I know there's some folk out there who don't like me. If you think everybody like you, then your name must be Boo Boo the Fool. Because no, they might smile in your face. Yeah, was it smile in your face? Backstab. That backstabbers, whatever it was. Was that the OJ show? Y'all help me out. Who was that sung that about them backstabbers? But that's what they'll do. They'll smile in your face and stab you in your back. But anyway, I didn't get on here to talk about that, man. But I know everybody don't like me. But I'm grown enough. I'm man enough. I'm mature enough. I'm confident enough to tell you, while everybody else is listening, that some of the stuff they don't like about me, it probably might be valid. Yeah, so you can't sit there and think that just because they don't like you, they hating on you. Some people don't like you because they hating on you, but some of the stuff they don't like about you, you need to change. And Lord knows I'm working on it. Lord, help me to do better. I said all that to say the man I am today is not the man I'm going to be tomorrow. Because every day we should be learning from our experiences. We should be learning from our mistakes. We should be learning from our successes. We should be learning from everything. Everything should be a learning experience for us. I'm saying, nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. So we cannot be ashamed of who we are, nor can we stop being who we are. Just keep on doing you. Just keep on doing you. Sometimes we build bridges around our success. Excuse me. No, it's not bridges. We build walls. And in other words, we conjure up perceptions, feelings, and the list goes on and on, that then turn around and prevent us from becoming better. And here's one of my pet peeves, man, I ain't trying to do all that, man. I'm just keeping it real. You keeping it real stupid. That's what you keeping it. You keeping it real stupid. Because you mean to tell me you got an opportunity to rise above the hood? You got an opportunity, and it's not like you forgot. I'm not talking about forgetting where you come from. Look here, you looking at a hood cat right here. It is what it is. I wasn't born in the hood, but I ended up moving to the hood because my parents split up, and one parent income, and it is what it is. Next thing you know, public housing, here we come. Mama needed a little support. You know what I mean? And so that's what it was. And at a young age, I had to relearn life. Yeah, but anyway, I ain't get on here to talk about all that. But sometimes you got to understand this, my brother, my sister, is an opportunity for you to rise. Sometimes we get our little feelings hurt. Sometimes we get crushed. But let me pause for the cause and ask you this question. Could it perhaps be that God was trying to give us the warning signs and we didn't pay it any attention because we were too stuck on, okay, yeah. I know for your boy, that's been the case once, twice, thrice, thrice, I know those aren't words, but, it's me. I'm just, And so, because the Bible says it this way, he always sends his warning before he sends his judgment. I'm just talking to you, y'all. I'm just talking to you for a little bit here. He always sends his warning before he sends his judgment. The problem is sometimes we become, as I said earlier in the conversation, we become intoxicated. We become high on our own supply. Okay, case in point, I do my little West Coast trip. Now I'm all, think I'm better than folk. And, nah, bruh, man, please. And like I said when we were getting ready for it, look here. I'm not the first to do it. I'm not the last to do it. There's going to be many other folks to do it as well. And some of them folk did it way better than I did. As a matter of fact, I peeped a lot of them jokers and said, let me see if I can glean from them. Yeah. So we can't get, the big head because we done accomplished this or this, that, and the other. I promise you, a haughty spirit will always cause you to fall, and it will cause you to fall real hard. Humble yourself. The Bible says it this way: humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, and He will exalt you in due time. Yeah. Put that on a shirt. Yeah. So I joined an MM. I joined a motorcycle ministry. Now what? Stay humble, bro. Stay humble. Stay humble. Stay helpful. Stay hungry. You know what I'm saying? Stay harmless. We can't accomplish things and accumulate things and then start harming people. I've seen it even within the motorcycle ministry circles. Oh, they somebody now because they know this one, that one, and they done been this and that. Bro, you ain't nobody. Just like we ain't. We all just trying to make it. And then they harm people. They hurt people. The Bible talked about Jesus, and as it related to the people. See, some of y'all got to be really careful. I know you anointed and appointed, and I know you saved and sanctified, and you this, that, and the other. But you got to be careful, because He said, "Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm." And so I may not be a prophet, but I am His anointed. What I'm saying is, that person that you overlooking, they might not be no big somebody, but they still His, and you've got to handle them very carefully. So anyway, back to my point. Jesus saw the people, and He said they were scattered abroad like sheep having no shepherd. Sheep, what kind of defense mechanism do they have? They're very docile animals. You're not going to see a sheep picking a fight with nobody. And so He saw the people. They were scattered abroad like sheep, having no shepherd, having no one to protect them, having no one to look out for them. I saw a clip one time about a sheep, and it had gotten lost. It had went out and gotten lost. And when they found the sheep, it had almost died. You know why? Not because of the big bad wolf, not because of the big bad bear, but simply because its wool grew so much and it became so heavy and so matted that it almost killed the sheep. And so the need for a shepherd is so important. That's going to take me back to the point that I was making earlier about you being a part of a motorcycle ministry. Make sure you're connected to a church of some sort. I'll get back to that. But He saw them, and the Bible says He was moved with compassion. Do you have compassion? Or are you only worried about your own well-being? All I'm simply trying to say is, let us walk humbly before God. Because the one you flossing on today might be the one that's in charge tomorrow. I was telling my cousin, as I said earlier, he's in town, and there was this dude that I went to junior high school with. He was a cool dude, I ain't gonna call no names, but he was a real cool dude. And mind you, Duggan Junior High School. And if any of my Dugganites are on here, you already know who I'm talking about. But it is what it is. When I tell you my man in the 7th grade, Duggan was 7th and 8th grade, was it? Yeah, 7th and 8th grade, I think Duggan was. Yeah, 7th, 8th. Yeah, 7th and 8th grade, Duggan was, right? So, dude, I almost said his name. Dude had a herringbone that fat. I mean, it was huge. When I tell you my man was getting money, he was out there getting that big money at a young age. I thought I was doing something. He was getting that big money. You understand what I'm saying? And just doing his thing, and for years, I can recall, he was doing his thing. I remember, I'm out there and I'd see him and, I'm doing my thing, but man, the way he was doing his thing, man. And so anyway, things turned, and I got out of the streets. I got into church, and I'm good with that. I walked away from a whole lot. I was good with that, and I ain't looked back. I was on my way to church one night. I'll never forget this night. And and I go into the gas station and I see this dude, and as I go in, I'm in a rush, and I go in, and I saw him. You got to be aware of your surroundings. I see the dude, and my mind is registering, it's spinning, because I'm like, that dude looks something about that dude looks familiar. I didn't. So I'm in the store. I get what I had to get now. I'm on my way up to the register, and as I'm on my way up to the register, he's coming in the door now, and now in the light and everything, and I'm looking at this dude. I said, OMG. I mean, my jaw hit the floor, folks. Because, I mean, he had on this dingy shirt. I mean, he looked like he had to be homeless or something, man. And he was just spaced out. Can I have some change? He was begging for change, dude. And my point is, sometimes we think and this is has nothing to do with him. I'm just using it as an example. Not saying he did anything to cause it. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? We lost track, so I don't know the story. I don't know if he was strung on drugs. I don't know, but he was in bad shape. I mean, bad shape. I mean, just but you never know how things can change. As I said earlier in in my opening statement, every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Don't let your way of dealing with people affect them in such a negative way that it potentially robs them of their future. My pastor used to say, if you don't have the Lord in your life, you're living beneath your privilege. Listen to me real good, my brothers and sisters, especially those of us who are riding in motorcycle ministries and Christian MCs. Don't let your behavior, don't let your lifestyle, don't let your choices cause people to say, if that's what living for the Lord is, I don't want no parts of it. There are people that are saying that. Yeah, there are people that have had such bad examples displayed in front of them that they said, nah, bro, I'm good. Just give me my my devices, and I just make do. And so we don't wanna be those kinds of people. It's your boy Retro with a little retro philosophy for you on today. I joined the MM. Now what? Stay true to what God has called you to. Don't switch, don't flip, don't flop. Just trust Him with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Being a part of a motorcycle ministry does not make us exempt from needing pastoral leadership. Being a part of a motorcycle ministry does not exempt us from needing to be a part of worship service. Come on, somebody. Actually, because we are out here pounding well, typically being a part of a motorcycle ministry, it will open opportunities for you to minister in such a way that the average church person may not get. I'm just saying, and with that said and done, that's reason why we need to make sure we are prayed up, and and for myself, it's real good to just get in a good worship service and just release. Because sometimes you're listening to stories, you're listening to different situations, and myself, there are some stuff that is not brought to me directly, but I'm made aware of it. And so I feel a responsibility to an extent, and so I will bear a situation in prayer. Some of y'all never hit my phone, never hit my inbox, but I'm lifting you in prayer. Sometimes you'll read across a post and something just sound a little off or a little whatever, and I don't always say nothing, I don't always inbox you, but I'm lifting you in prayer, because everybody needs somebody to pray for them. There was a song they used to sing, somebody prayed for me, had me on their mind, took the time to pray for me. And somebody did it for me, man. I was out there in them streets, and when I tell you I was in them and wanted to be in them. I wasn't really looking for a way out. I mean, I was comfortable. I liked it, and but somebody prayed for me, and I had a few situations, and and I knew it was God, and but yet still I was too pigheaded. I was too, but my mama kept on praying anyhow. My aunt Liz kept on praying anyhow. Come on, somebody. My other aunties, they kept on praying anyhow. And I'm so grateful that they did. And now, because they did it for me, I've got to do it for somebody else. Yeah. And so that part there, folks, I think I said enough. I've played around with this platform here, and I think it might be a go. Big Cell, if you're still watching, man, I'm going to hit you up sometime tomorrow, if that's all right, man. And I'm going to pick your brain with your StreamYard tips and tricks. And then I'll compare notes. And then, and if anybody else is watching, and you use any kind of, platform like this, because I know there's StreamYard, there's Ecamm, there's Restream and Switcher. Switcher is really nice, but Switcher, last time I checked, didn't give me the green screen. Oh man, what we got here, man? Looks like I may have missed a call. And if you're still watching, feel free to call back. Let me see something real quick. No, we good. Okay. So if you're watching and use any kind of streaming service or whatever, you may have some tips or some tricks for me. Hit me up. Let me know, man. Help me out a little bit here, okay? Because nobody knows everything. Nobody knows everything, and I'll be the first to tell you I do not know everything. But it's been real tonight, man. I was a little late because I was. Oh my Lord! It is 10:48. I got to run, y'all. It's been fun, but I got to run, man. I got to go. Okay, so let me see here. This is all new. And maybe, I think I should be able to just close out with my same old intro, okay? Folks, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the whole program tonight. Not only the content in terms of what we talked about, but even the whole, thing here. Was it a distraction? Is it cool? Let me know, all right? All right, I'm going to get out of here, man. We will catch you guys. I don't know if I'm coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Normally, I don't come on Friday because I do the Thursday night show. But we'll see. I do got to work some kinks out with this here. And first thing tomorrow, I'm on the horn with this internet service so we can try to get things sorted out. If you have not already gone over to the YouTube channel, please do so. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way, whenever we go live, you will get the notification. And again, I want to thank everybody for pressing play on tonight. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. And may the good Lord continue to bless you. It's your boy Retro, and we love you. Later.
So, you're a philosopher? Yes.
Good evening, good morning, good night, good day. It's your boy Retro. Thank you for pressing play.
Come on, somebody lift up a shout to the Lord.
So, you're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply.
I need just a little more Jesus.
Sheldon, start up the mic then! Start up the mic then, no! Sheldon, start up the mic then!
philosopher? Yes. 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 I think very deeply. Yes. 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 Yes.